Hello, welcome to my channel. This video is going to be the 24 books I want to read in 2024. Now, this is going to be very ambitious because sometimes I'm a bit delusional, but I feel like it's sometimes nice to just put it out in the universe and just hope for the best. I'm gonna try and keep this short, but we'll see. I have split it in 3 different categories. So the first category is there's just one book. That's it. One book that I really want to read. The second category is more general, I guess. It's basically authors I want to read. So it's mostly new authors that I haven't read anything from and I'm just really curious. But I don't know which book I'm gonna end up reading. I just know that I really want to read at least one book by them. And then we have the third category, which is series. I have series that I want to start, but at the same time would really love if I could read the whole series this year. First book that I'm really hoping that I'm gonna read this year and that I'm actually really gonna love is The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. This is a very hyped book. I feel like this is one of the OG TikTok books and so many people love it. And I'm hoping that I'm gonna love it too. But I have had it on my bookshelf for 2 years, I think, and I have been so intimidated to pick it up. So I really just want to put this here just so I can motivate myself to read this. I do think that I'm gonna like it. That's like the thing. I do think that I'm gonna like it. At the same time, I'm really scared that I'm not going to like it. So I'm just like, okay, let's just put this off just to be safe. Another book that I have heard incredible things about is 7 Days in June. I have heard so many people say that this is one of the most beautiful romance books out there, and I'm very curious about it. I think that it's gonna be a tiny bit heartbreaking, but not like too much. It's a second chance romance, and I know that both of the two main characters are romance authors and they have been writing, I think, about each other, and that sounds really good. And I love books about books. It's one of my favorite things, so I'm hoping that I'm gonna like this. And also, it's a very short book. I think it's like 300 pages or something, so I'm thinking that it's gonna be a very quick read that has a potential to be one of my favorite books. Another romance book, I feel like it's a lot of people's favorite books, and that is You Deserve Each Other by Sarah Hogel. I have heard incredible things about this book, especially I feel like 2 years ago, so many people were raving about it and were saying that this is so fun, this is like a perfect rom-com. And I'm always in the search of a perfect rom-com, especially like in book formats or even movies, I guess. So I'm hoping that I'm gonna really enjoy it. This is basically about an engaged couple, and I think that they're just like, yeah, we don't want to get married anymore, but whoever ends up calling off the wedding is gonna lose all of their money. That's like what is happening there. So both of them, they are like, oh, okay, so I'm gonna make you hate me so much that you cannot even think about the idea of marrying me, and you call off the wedding and I take all of the money. And that sounds incredible. I am so excited. It sounds like a perfect rom-com, right? Yeah, so I'm just very curious and I want to see why it's so hyped. Then we have Radio Silence by Alice Osman. This is, I think, young adult, and it's kind of like fiction, general fiction. It's not like a romance or anything, but I picked it up years ago, probably, I want to say like a decade ago, but I think that that's just me exaggerating a bit. Well, not a bit, but I bought it a long time ago and I was like, oh, I'm gonna read this. I've heard great things about this. I started it and I reached like the 50% point of it, and I was like, okay, I'm not feeling this. I'm just gonna put it down for a minute and then just pick it up in a couple of days, in a couple of weeks, and that ended up being 4 years, 5 years, maybe even more than that. So yeah, here we are. I do not remember a single thing about it, so I need to read it from the beginning. If I don't read it this year, I think I'm gonna get rid of it. I have had it for so long, and I just, every single time that I look at my bookshelf and I see this there staring at me, not being read, I just get annoyed. So if I don't read it in 2024, I am probably just gonna give it to someone else or donate it or something, I don't know. And then going back into romance, we have From Look Up With Love by Mariana Zapata. I read The Wall of Winnipeg and Me this year and I really enjoyed it. It was so fun, it was so entertaining. It was huge and it was definitely a slow burn, a very, very slow burn, but I really enjoyed it. I think I gave it 4.5 stars, and I'm hoping that I'm gonna love this book too. I have heard great things about this one. I feel like this is one of the most hyped Mariana Zapata books, and this is about like 2 ice skaters, I think. Wait, they're enemies to lovers. Did not know that. Very excited about that one. I love a good enemies to lovers, rivals to lovers, whatever you want to call it. Very excited about this one. And then I have Sable Pig by Devney Perry. It's the last book in the Edens series by Devney Perry. I have read every single other book in that series. I wouldn't say that it's like my favorite series. It's definitely enjoyable. I would say that it's great if you're in a reading slump. It just helps you get out of it. But it's not my favorite by any means. So I really just want to wrap it up and finish it this year. Then another book that I'm so excited about is Love Redesigned by Lauren Asher. I have heard incredible things about this book. So many people love it. I feel like everyone is giving it 4.5, 4.75, 5 stars. And I do think that I'm gonna love it. It like rivals to Lovers, but the guy is obsessed with the woman after they spend some time together, and that sounds incredible. That sounds so good. I cannot wait to read that book. I do want to read the Dreamland Billionaire series first because it's kind of, even though Love Redesigned is part of another series, like the first book of another series, they take place in the same universe kind of. So I do want to read the Dreamland Billionaire series first and then go into that one, but I'm just genuinely so excited. Another book that I'm kind of scared of is Twisted Hate by Anna Huang. This is the third book in the Twisted series. I have read Twisted Love, do not like that book at all. I have read Twisted Games, love that book, still think about it all the time. And Twisted Hate is the third book, and then we have Twisted Lies, which is the last book. The only reason why I haven't read Twisted Hate yet is literally the fact that it's so big, and I don't know if it's gonna be a book for me because it's like a rivals to lovers, which is something that I usually love. But in the other books I didn't really fall in love with the two characters because it's like a companion series, so you meet all of the characters in the other books. I don't know if I'm gonna love it, and I really don't want to read it and have it make me feel like Twisted Love did. Then we have Darling Venom. This is by Parker S. Huntington and LG Sen. I read My Dark Romeo by them this year and I really enjoyed it. It was so fun. Surprisingly enough, I did not expect it. I had the time of my life. It was so entertaining. It was so fast-paced. I loved every minute of it. So I really want to read Darling Venom because I have heard Sarah Caroli really loving this book and saying that this is so good. And I do trust her taste. The other two books are also books that just Sarah Caroli loves, and she loves them, so I feel like I'm gonna love them. So firstly, we have Powerless by Lauren Roberts, I think. This is a fantasy romance, and I'm not fantasy girly. I have not read fantasy, except for Harry Potter, but I feel like that's kind of a category on its own. Needless to say, I am scared. I am very, very scared. I feel like I will not understand anything. I will be just reading it and be like, what? What is that? What is happening? What we are doing? But it is an enemies to lovers, and that just attracts me. I love a good enemies to lovers. And also the tension is in this book. I have heard that is incredible, and I love tension. Like that's one of my favorite things in a book, in a romance book. If there is tension, chances are that I'm gonna really love this book. And then the other book is Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. I feel like everyone is talking about this book. This is, I think, also rivals to lovers. Everyone is saying that it's a very easy fantasy, and I'm pretty sure that it's young adult. I might be wrong actually about that. I still have heard that it's really easy to get into, especially if you haven't read any fantasy before. So that's always a great thing to hear. So I'm curious about it. I really want to read it. I really, really want to try it. With both of these books, because they're really out of my comfort zone, I'm so scared that I'm not gonna like them, that I just postpone them, and I'm like, okay, let me just live it for next month. But now we're in 2024, so I need to read them. Otherwise, I feel like it's just, I'm gonna forget about them, and I really don't want it, you know? And then we have some new releases that are coming out this year, so I thought that it would be fun to just throw some in there that I'm really excited about. So the first one is Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood. I cannot wait for this book. Ali Hazelwood is one of my favorite authors. I love her books. I love her characters. I love her plots. I love her story. I love her writing. So I cannot wait for this book. I actually don't know what this book is about. And honestly, I know that I'm gonna love it and enjoy it because it's an Ali Hazelwood book, and she hasn't come out with a single book so far that I have not been in love with. And then we have Play Along by Lee Sumford, which is my other favorite author. This year I read the Windy City series by her, which is Mile High, The Right Move, and Caught Up. I love them so much. I think about these characters every single day. I just want to go back into that universe. I genuinely feel like they are my family. They're like my friends. I am so excited for the next book because it's accidental marriage, which I love that trope. It's so fun every single time. And then also we have the male main character that is obsessed with the female main character. He has been pining for her for so long, and I cannot wait. And the last book that is coming out in 2024 is Daydream by Hannah Grace. This is the author of Icebreaker and Wildfire. I read Icebreaker. I really loved it. It was so fun. It was incredible. I love the writing. I love the mental health representation. It was so easy to read and it was so entertaining. really liked it. I haven't read the second book, which is Wildfire, but I have heard great things about this. Yeah, I do also want to read that, but I'm very excited about Daydream because basically we have the FMC and she's trying to write a romance book, but she doesn't have that much experience with romance, I guess. So Henry, which is a guy that we meet on the first book, and I feel like the whole world has fallen in love with him, is like, okay, I'm gonna help you out, help you write the book, help you experience something so you know what you're writing, I guess. And that sounds so good. I love books about books. I always enjoy them so much. They're just so fun to read. I love reading about either characters that love reading books or characters that just are writing a book, or they're just authors in general. I feel like Hannah Grace's writing is so good, so I definitely think that I'm gonna enjoy this. Okay, so now we're done with the first category, so let's go to the second one, which is basically just authors that I really want to read more books, or that I haven't read any of their books and I just really want to try their writing. And the first author is Abby Jimenez. I have 2 books from her. I have The Friend Zone and The Happy Ever After playlist. These 2 are part of a trilogy. I do not remember the third book, but I have heard great things about this author. She's the author of Part of Your World and also Yours Truly, which I am so excited to read Yours Truly. I think that's gonna be just incredible. But because I own these 2, I feel like I need to read these 2 first, which is actually kind of sad because I haven't heard amazing things about the first book in this series. I have heard great things about the other books, the other 2 books, but this one, I feel like people are saying that this is not the best book by this author, which makes sense because this is the first book that she ever wrote. But yeah, I really want to try this author. I think that I'm gonna truly, genuinely enjoy it, and it might even be one of my new favorite authors. I need to give her a chance, you know? Then we have another very popular author, which is Emily Henry. I have, again, 2 books by her. So I have People We Meet on Vacation and Book Lovers. I think that I'm gonna go into Book Lovers first. I don't know, that just attracts me a bit more because it's about books. This is the author of Happy Place and Beach Read, which I feel like are the more popular books. And then another author that I really want to read more books from actually is Lynn Painter. I have read 3 books by her. So I have read Mr. Wrong Number, Better Than the Movies, and Accidentally Amy. I have really enjoyed them all, especially Better Than the Movies. I love that book. So I really want to read more books from her, especially more young adult books. So she has Betting on You and The Do-Over. So I really want to read these 2, and also The Love Wager because I have heard great things about it. And then the last author is Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is a very hyped author again. I own 2 books. What is it with me owning 2 books from every author? But I have The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo and One True Loves. I feel like this is more popular, but I do think that I'm gonna go into One True Loves first because it's a romance. And I am a romance girly through and through. Where this one, I think that it's just women's fiction. I am really curious about it. So many people love the writing. And like, she's the author of Daisy Jones and the Six, which is now a series. And I cannot wait to read that book and then watch the series. And yeah, I'm curious. I'm curious what is all the hype about. And then we have some series which I really want to read. The first series is the Brown Sisters series by Talia Hibbert. I really want to read the first book. I have heard so many great things about that series. I think that the mental health representation is really good from what I have heard, which is always something that I love reading about. And I have heard that these are great romance books. So fun, so entertaining, and so easy. And also I have heard that Talia Hibbert is a great author. Her books are so good, and I really want to try it. I really want to see why everyone loves them. I'm just curious. I'm a curious girly. Then, because again, I am a curious girly, we have the Addicted Calloway Sisters series. I think that's the name. So it's basically 2 series that take place in the same world. And I think that you're supposed to read them interconnected, kind of. I don't know, I'm not sure. But I have heard great things about it. I have heard that if you like when you're reading a book and the characters feel like they are your family, this is a great book for you. And I love that. Like, this is me. I am the person that loves reading about people that feel like family. I love it. I'm really excited about it, and I would have started it already, but everyone says that the first 2 books are not that good, and that from the 3rd book, I think, it starts getting better. So I haven't been that motivated to reading the first 2 books if I know that people don't really love them. Another series that people have been obsessed with this year is the Chestnut Spring series by Elsie Silver. So this is a 5-book series, and people are saying that this is incredible. This is small town, it's like cowboy romances, I think. Yeah, I really want to read them. I feel like every single one of them has a trope that I love. And I haven't heard a single person rate them under 4 stars under like 3.5, you know? And I feel like that's always like a good hint that there's a good chance that I'm gonna find at least one 5-star in that whole series, and I am so excited. And then we have a series that I am terrified of reading. And when I say terrified, I mean terrified. And that is the Magnolia Parks universe. I don't know the name of the series actually. I don't think that it has a name. But anyways, again, I own the first 2 books. So we have Magnolia Parks and Daisy Hates. I think that's like their names. So I do really want to read these, but I am so scared because I have heard that these are painful. These will make you cry, will rip your heart and just stomp on it. And I don't know if I'm in the right mindset to go into this, but I do want to read it because I am curious, right? It's like a toxic relationship. These are very toxic romances from what I have heard. And it sounds entertaining, you know? I'm very curious about it, but at the same time, I'm low-key kind of scared about it too. And then the next series is the Bromance Book Club. I really want to read that series. There are so many books, which is kind of overwhelming, but I have heard great things about them. And this is a series that has been on my radar for so many years. And I think that the time has finally come that I'm actually gonna read it. This sounds so good. It's basically about these group of guys that they create this book club, basically, that they end up reading romance books in order to just be more romantic and just all of that. Tell me that that doesn't sound good. Guys creating a book club and reading romance books in order to be more romantic. What else do you want in this life, you know? So I really want to try it. Even though it's a lot of books, at least I can try the first one and see how I feel about it, and hopefully I fall in love with it. And the last series, finally, is the Caraval series by Stephanie Garber. This is a trilogy. It's like fantasy, young adult fantasy, and it's basically the series that comes before Once Upon a Broken Heart, which is another popular trilogy. I feel like everyone has read it and is obsessed with it. But I really want to go to Caraval first because I have heard that it's really easy to read and like the whole world building is not that bad. And since I am not a fantasy reader and I'm not used to it, I feel like it's gonna be good to go into something a bit easier, I guess. I don't know. And also I have this thing in my mind that is telling me, oh no, it's the same universe. Caraval came first, so you need to read that one first and then go into the Once Upon a Broken Heart series. So yeah, those are all of the books, authors, series that I want to read in 2024. I'm really hoping that I'm going to read every single one of them, but yeah, let's not have really high expectations. I'm gonna do my best. And that's all that we can ask for. Let me know if you have read any of these. I feel like I have some very popular books that a lot of people probably have read. So let me know which books I should prioritize, like which ones are your favorite. But yeah, that's all I had to say. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to. I hope that I will see you in my next video. Bye!